The information discussed in this PILCast episode are merely opinions and do not constitute formal policy or legal guidance of any kind.
Hello and welcome to another PILCast, the video blog where we talk about important federal procurement innovations in 10 minutes or less. We guarantee it. I'm Scott Simpson with the DHS Procurement Innovation Lab, and today I'm joined by Carolyn Lethert.
Hey, I'm Carolyn. I am a contracting officer with the OPO Science and Technology Acquisitions Division.
Welcome and thank you so much for being here today, Carolyn. I understand that last year you awarded a $111 million BPA for IT support for the entire Science and Technology Directorate, and that you consolidated 5 requirements into one small business set-aside. How did you structure your solicitation?
So we actually did a 3-phase solicitation with both a firm down select and an advisory down select. So the first phase was based on facility security clearance. Folks had to submit information that showed they had a top secret facility security clearance. We followed that by a firm down select. After that, we had quoters submit a response to a corporate experience questionnaire along with reference check information. Once we evaluated that, we provided an advisory notification. Then everyone who decided to move forward submitted a key personnel resume, did an oral presentation, and submitted pricing information.
That sounds like a lot of innovations. Both a firm and advisory down select, your oral presentations, all in a small business set-aside. Did you use any particular innovations to engage those small businesses?
Yeah, we actually did. We did a number of innovations right at the beginning of the process, particularly focused on small business. We had an industry day that we actually gave preference to small businesses to register for. And we, at that industry day, explained our requirement. And we also coupled it with an RFI where we asked industry for information or questions that they had on the requirement. And we also asked them if they thought a small business could do the entire requirement as a part of that. Once we got started, we also did things like post-draft documents and status updates on eBuy, and as well as all the innovations we mentioned just previously.
We've definitely heard at the PIL here that the draft solicitations and that continuous communication is so helpful to small businesses. They really get to know it then. It's not like just a solicitation is pops out of the black hole and here it is, you expect them to respond to it right away. What was one innovation that you use here in the solicitation that was geared towards small businesses for you?
I think the RFI was probably one of the biggest ones. We weren't 100% sure if a small business could do these 5 previously small business contracts. And we got an overwhelming response on the RFI that yes, they could. They might use teaming to do it, but they absolutely could do it. And that was really valuable information for us to have.
That's awesome. Now, once you get into the solicitation, you did something really interesting here in which you had vendors provide their key personnel resumes as part of one of the factors. Can you describe the innovation language that you used as part of that factor?
Sure. So this was part of our oral presentation factor. We asked for a resume for the BPA program manager. And as part of that, we said the government highly desires that the program manager's resume demonstrate the following. And then we listed basically experience, like 15 years of relevant experience, plus some education and some certifications. So including the phrase highly desires rather than requires is the recommendation that the PIL made for us that we included.
And you liked it?
Yeah, it worked out really well for us.
Yeah, and something that didn't work out so well, but did work out well in the end was you got a GAO protest on this issue. And the protester argued that the winning proposed program manager, who was identified as key personnel, didn't meet the minimum qualification requirements. And in fact, they even went to the person's LinkedIn page to try to show that they didn't meet the requirements. So how did you respond to that when the protest came up?
So basically, we thought, in our opinion, first of all, that this was kind of in the realm of the tech to evaluate. So my tech actually thought that the program manager did have the required experience. What it actually came down to was kind of if listed experience was relevant or not. And that was really an evaluation decision. However, that being said, when we were going through writing this up and trying to justify it, my attorney reminded me that it didn't actually matter if the program manager had 15 years of experience. The highly desired language didn't establish a minimum and gave us more flexibility.
That's right. And the GAO sided with you all. In their response, the GAO noted that, quote, the RFQ did not require a minimum level of experience. It simply stated a preference. I bet your attorney was happy that you put that in your language in your solicitation after that protest.
Yeah, so interestingly, originally our attorney had commented that he was concerned that the language meant we weren't requiring a specific minimum and that might be a problem. But when we got through the protest and he was helping me write it up, he actually ended up being really happy with the language and it worked in our favor.
That's right. And this was a really rich GAO protest decision. It talked about a lot of different issues. And so I highly recommend you take a few minutes to read that out there. We'll put the case number and the link down in the chat. Carolyn, that's going to do it. I really want to thank you for being with us today. Make sure that out there, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button so that you get all of our latest updates. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you.